What's happening? Welcome to Big Sexy Digital Nomad. This is Judgmentalist, your hostess with the mostest, coming at you from the wonderful state of Maryland. Got a whole lot going on for you, including a special one of Big Sexy's interviews from his transatlantic cruise, and a whole lot more going in on the life of Big Sexy. I give you the boss, the man, the myth, the legend, Big Sexy.
Hey, what's happening? Hello to all my world travelers. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever this is hitting your ear holes. I hope things are good. Man, it has been one hell of a week since we last spoke. So much stuff has happened. Let me start by this. Judgmentalist, what is the largest gathering of people you have ever been to and experienced?
I would have to ballpark this, but and I may be forgetting something, but probably somewhere in the 80,000 people range.
And where was that? What was it?
That would have been at probably any number of professional football games that I've attended. I think the seating capacity for M&T Bank Stadium, which is where the Ravens play, is roughly like 78,000. And then I've also, back in, so long ago that the stadium was called PSI Net Stadium at the time, but same building. I saw, I'm thinking this might have been like 2000 or 2001, like that long ago.
Okay.
I was there for a concert with Metallica, Korn, System of a Down. Stuff that would make Wayne Geo
cream his shorts.
Cream his shorts, exactly. So my assumption, if the seating, the Stadium Bowl seats like 76 or 78,000, that you had however many other 1,000 people packed on the stadium, probably around 80,000. I can't really remember. Nothing sticks out as probably being more volume wise than that.
All right, so let me look up this. Hold on one second. I do have a reasoning for my question.
Scoop Fest 2021
on Saturday.
2022 was probably 300 people. That might be a close second.
All right. All right. So, for reference, the population count of Malaga, Spain, which is where I'm at currently, is 571,026 as of 2018. Let's see 2022. So 2022, it jumps up to 592,000 roughly. I am going to say at least, 5/8 of that population, 6/8, 7/8 of that population was at this San Juan festival that was happening in Malaga on the coastline of Spain, of Malaga. Now,
Jacob, the audio guy, can you send us the Paul's doing Kentucky math drop so that it fills in here, because 6/8, 5/8, whatever numbers I got nothing. That's a lot of people, though.
So I'd say it's well over 200,000 people participated in the San Juan festival, maybe over 300,000 people. It expands 4 miles up along.
Just for anybody that's not doing the Kentucky math, half?
More than half. More than half.
A little more than half.
I'd say, I'd probably say of the 592,000, 500,000 of them are on the fucking beach. That's probably a high estimate. However, the concept of the number of people is ridiculous because it goes along the entire coast of Malaga.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know how many miles long, but all of it filled with people, bonfires, concerts, people lighting off lanterns. We were at Playa de la Misericordia. I know for all my Spanish listeners, I'm butchering that phrase, but it was
159
massive.
kilometers of coastline.
So imagine that filled with people.
That's a lot of people.
A lot of people. It was so much fun. So I went there, of course, with the Malaga Nomads.
It's 100
Um,
miles for the
for the
people that are
Americanos.
still on standard measurement.
Right. There were uh, a handful of the Malaga group, the Nomad group were there. Big shout out to Karen, Karin, who was there with her work and got there early with her work, so set up a space and then messaged us in the WhatsApp group to meet her there. And she's like, "We can move if we want." I'm like, "Why? No, let's just we're here." And everything is close to here. Let's just be here, right? And so people kind of came in and came in and came in. The tradition is you hang out, you have fun, you people drink and whatever, whatever. And then at midnight or around midnight, they have this big bonfire and a bunch of fireworks. And then when the fireworks are over, people run into the ocean.
Hmm.
I don't know if you've ever been in the ocean at 1 o'clock in the morning or 12:30 in the morning. It's fucking cold.
Yeah, I can
Uh,
imagine.
and I'm not a cold kind of guy. I'm matter of fact, I'm very much team anti-winter. We escape the cold. However, I don't want to be one to buck tradition, even though not everybody, I could have stayed back with other people who are staying back, but I said no. I came to do this, and then I gotta say I did this, and so ran out to the water and eventually had to be drug into the water. Because I was waiting for the fireworks to end, which is what I was told. But we got dragged before the fireworks were still going. It got in, and it was cold, and it was very cold, and it was super cold. The kind of cold where your balls go into your chest. That yeah, that kind of cold. And we splashed around and had a good time, whatever, then got out and everything. And then I realized I'm a bunch of, Norwegianers and Dutch and, Germanics who love to go into cold water like that. So they went back out like at 3 o'clock in the morning and got in the water and back and forth in the water. I said, no, I'm not doing that. I love y'all, but I'm just not going to do that. But again, had a great time, crazy festival, met some cool folks, like met Crystal and Iliana, I think her name was, and this cool dude named Andres, who was from Brazil. He and I had a really great talk, and then hung out with some of the other folks, Jules and all them, uh, who eventually I'm going to have on the podcast. I'm actually going to have a few of them on the podcast. As a matter of fact, I talked to Karim, who said, who I'm going to get her. I'm recording an interview. I'm going to interview her tomorrow.
Cool.
So you get to hear from them, and then I'm also going to try to set up before I leave here, get a gathering. I think it'd be really cool to do like a live recording. A recording like we do these wine Wednesdays or whatever, and go to an event and just bring the microphone and laptop, or bring the microphone, telephone, and record the conversation. Just talk to everybody about travel. Where you from? What do you do? Da da da, and all that kind of thing. Just have a fun conversation and make that a specialized episode for
When are
folks.
we doing this? Because I might need to book a flight.
You let me know when you book the flight. We'll do it and do it then. It's yeah, it's been absolutely incredible. I have to give a shout out to Malaga. It's been a lot of fun here. We're actually looking into now, checking about getting a Spanish student visa, and study Spanish in Spain,
Oh, cool.
and see how we can go about doing that, so we can get that visa earlier, so then we can not have to be gone for 180 days. We can come back a lot sooner. So, of course, my fellow world travelers, I'll keep you up on how that process goes.
If anything, we told you from the onset that this is going to be a constantly fluid situation, and if
Constantly.
that happens, that definitely changes some of the landscape of what you guys were planning on, which is
Absolutely.
great.
The landscape has already changed. We're only supposed to be in Malaga a week. We've been here almost 2 months. Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, you come and you go with the flow. Like I've always said, look, this is the idea. This is the plans. Are they going to change? Probably. But we'll figure it out as we go along, and that's what we're doing. We're figuring it out as we go along. I also got to give a shout out to Valeria, who is friends with Nicole. She's this really cool girl from the Czech Republic, I believe. Interesting. That was Friday. No, that was Saturday night. No, that was Friday night. San Juan was Friday night. Saturday, I did a photo shoot uh, with a guy named Mike. And I can't pronounce the last name, but he has a production thing. He did an advertisement for this monitor. They're not giving me money, so I'll wait until they're a sponsor before I shout out the name of this monitor.
There you go.
Or once they drop the advertisement, if you see me in the advertisement, I'll post a link up someplace. But yeah, so we went on to this photo shoot, and it was cool. Nicole and Valeria was there, and we got to hang out. And then Jules was also there, and then I got to meet Mike, Claudia, and Sidis, who was a friend of Claudia's, and Rafa. We all did this photo shoot. It was really funny because it was a pretend barbecue. So Mike had made all this. He'd grilled actual food or whatever. And then we had potato chips and beers. And we were sitting around. I was playing a video game. It was a lot of fun. It was a great time. Got to hang out in this beautiful part of Malaga. I have no idea where I was. It was a great park. All I know is that right across the street from a retired home in Malaga. I guess if I ever get too old and want to retire in a home here, this place looks nice. So we'll see how that goes. But it was a lot of fun. We had a great time. So shout out to them as well.
Awesome. I want to give, and this may end up being a double shout out for some of these folks that you've already shouted out, but I feel the need to give a shout out to any of our new listeners over the past month, because number wise, and again, we get very, very limited data on listenership, downloads, or whatever, and it's pretty cryptic. Like, we don't really know what it means, so don't worry, we can't stalk you if you're listening. But I'd say over the past 3-4 weeks, we've probably had somewhere between a 25 to 35% uptick in people listening, which means either A, it's all the same people and you've listened to the episodes twice, which makes 0 sense, or we've got a bunch of new listeners. So welcome, new listeners. Shout out to you. Thanks for listening. Feel free to help keep this train moving with
chime in.
Any sort of insight that you have.
Speaking of listeners, I got to shout out Tiffany, who may not, I don't know if she's listening to the podcast or not, but she's from Jamaica and England, I think. Really fun, really snarky. It's hilarious. We are when I first met her was at one of the beach trips before, and I didn't really get a chance to talk to her. She asked me some random dumb question about my name that somebody probably had told her to ask or whatever. And I like, if you tell me a dumb question about my name, I'll give you a dumb answer and keep it moving. I don't care, whatever. But then we went to a wine Wednesday and we really got to sit down and chat and talk and get to know one another essentially and hang out, and just cool person. And we actually bonded over a McDonald's apple pie.
Oh, nice.
And the beach. It was really great, really wonderful. So big shout out to Tiffany. She's really fun. I'm loving everybody here. This group is great that I'm hanging out with. Shout out to Luciana, who does hand pan, which is drumming, and she makes this macrame clothing, especially for summer wear. I'll if I remember, I'll put her link in the bio. I'll write myself a note now to put her link in the bio. I said I would. I said I'd shout her out and put a link in the bio. So if my listeners are looking for any cool macrame stuff, check out Luciana Pastriano, I think is the last name, but I could be wrong because I'm not looking it up right now. I'm just trying to go by memory. And memory of foreign names is not the greatest. So I will.
I don't know about you, but my memory's getting worse and worse every day. So
yeah, same here. That's why I take notes.
You don't need to throw foreign names at me for my memory to start being suspect.
Exactly. So we're in a new Airbnb. We are in Torremolinos right now, which is lovely. Another city by the beach. And we're directly across from a statue. I don't know if you've seen it in my Instagram post. We're right by the bull with the butthole. which took me by surprise when I looked at this bull and it had uh, uh, accurate depiction of a butthole. It's like a starfish butthole, not just a little dot, not a little circle. They drew in the starfish lines. Why does this bull have to have a puckering asshole? Oh, okay, so it's a bull with the butthole. It's very easy to spot where we live, which is great here in Torremolinos. Also, it's really weird. We're directly across from Hotel Cervantes, and at the last place we're directly behind Teatro Cervantes.
Hmm.
So I want to know is who is Cervantes?
He's the guy that wrote Don Quixote, right?
Is he?
I
Is the
think so.
author of Don Quixote Cervantes?
I think so.
How do you spell Don Quixote? There it is. Quixote. Go. Don Quixote. Yeah. Novel by Miguel de Cervantes. Look at you with your book knowledge and all that.
I got a couple things here and there.
You know a thing or two about a thing or two. Yeah, so I wonder if he is from Malaga. I'll have to look him up and see. Oh, hold on. Miguel de Cervantes was an elderly modern Spanish writer widely regarded as the greatest writer in the Spanish language and one of the world's prominent novelists.
I am this is a little side story, not something that I planned on talking about, but I am widely considered locally to be a ringer when it comes to trivia. I guess.
Are you a holder of useless information?
A ton, more than you'd know, more than I even know until I'm asked. And it's funny because over the years, to me, it's a great kind of socializing. You get a group of friends together, you go out, and tons and tons and tons of establishments are doing, one night a week. It's usually an off night for the particular establishment. So a Monday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday. You're not going to see a lot of this on Fridays, Saturdays, big busy nights for the restaurant. It's a way for them to fill seats on nights that are slower. You get a group of people together. There's usually anywhere between 5 and 15 different teams of people.
Right.
Each one of these has a slightly different format as far as how the questions and answers are given and the points are totaled. But they're all within, they're all on the same dartboard. And, I've done a couple of these over the years. And then, of course, people have other things come up in their lives, and then the groups fizzle out. I mean, there was one that we were doing for like 3 or 4 years, and then the pandemic hit, and then we just never went back to it.
Have you ever won any money from it?
Yeah, I mean, when you win, it's usually gift cards for the establishment that you're playing at
and whatnot. Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny because I got an email from somebody who's been involved with Elkton Magic and supported Elkton Magic and has attended a bunch of the events, and they're like, so we do this trivia thing at such and such a place on Tuesday nights. Would you we're having some trouble. Would you consider joining us? Right. And I don't really think of myself as the ringer. And it really just took until this last Tuesday. I roll up, I go there, and we're at like halftime or an intermission between rounds or something like that. And somebody from across the room calls out my name. And it's somebody that I recognize. So I go talk to them, and they're like, so I guess my team's not winning tonight. And I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, well, normally we're like the number 1 or number 2 team, but I see that they've called you in. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know that I had that type of reputation, at least not here, because, we go places and whatever. And I've got somehow in my head some of the most inane shit.
And did you win? But the question is, did you? Of course you did.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Would I be telling this story and framing this story this way if we did anything less than win? I certainly would not be painting the picture that I'm a ringer if I didn't show up one night and then have that team that hadn't won before all of a sudden win.
Love it.
You only take victory.
You could be a dead ringer. I mean, you think you're a ringer, you're actually a cooler. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah. Well, the key is, and I'm probably not going tonight. We're recording this on a Tuesday, by the way. I'm probably not going tonight, even though it's an every Tuesday thing, because I got invited to go hang out with this improv troupe, and
Do it.
I think that my skill set needs to be polished there, and I don't get a whole lot. The only thing I get out of trivia is winning trivia, so
Right. It's extra
that's not
drinks
taking me anywhere.
that you would have bought anywhere. Right.
It's only taking me to more and more bars to
You
eat
mean
more and more
you're
food.
not learning a lot of additional random information? That's the question. If you miss a question, do you never miss it again?
I would say that it is. I've never. I can't say that I could recall ever being asked a question in trivia that I had been asked in trivia before, which is something that in theory could happen because there are different companies out here
Right.
that run these and they have slightly different formats. But there's, whatever you feel like asking about, that could easily be repeated or closely repeated.
All right.
Um,
Challenge accepted. Listeners, here's what you need to do. You need to, like, we have the wrong answers only thing, which will be directly for me. If you
yeah.
want random trivia questions for Judgmentalist, send them to bigsexynomad@gmail.com. In the subject line, put trivia questions, all capitals, trivia questions. I'll look at it. He won't look at them. You put the question. You'll need to put the answer in it because I'm not gonna know the fucking answer. And then we'll have a little trivia moment to test Judgmentalist trivia knowledge and see how well that goes.
Do you know Hojack?
Not personally,
Okay. We need to try to connect with Hojack. I would pay him money. And it's not going to be something that we do right now because we've got to figure this whole thing out.
right?
But how great would it be if somebody like Hojack were to program us a website like Scooperty,
Like
where
Scooperty.
where our listeners can go in and program a series of questions and answers so that on our side, we get fed the question. You give the wrong answer. I give what I think is the right
Right
answer.
answer,
And,
yes.
it's going to be like an improv show. Okay. The points are all made up and none of them matter.
Right.
But to go through that really with that you're intentionally answering wrong and I'm trying to answer correctly.
That would
because
be
it could work.
that'd be very fun. So we'd have to we can't say Scooperty because that's theirs, but
Well,
some kind of Jeopardy format that is tailored
I
to
still
big
like it.
Digital
I
Nomad.
still like it being called wrong answers only. Maybe this is
Oh, yeah.
because we've got music for it.
Yeah.
And
We can call it wrong answers only, right? I like it. Yes, perfect. So challenge. Well, that's coming down the wire. Hopefully, Hojack, if you're listening to the podcast, which I don't know if you do or not, we'll tag you in something so you have to listen to it. And that would be really cool and fabulous. But in the meantime, world travelers, submit those trivia questions.
Do it this way. This is, and this might not work. This is literally something that you're listening to us live come up with. Live
Wait,
for us.
play the production music.
I got some, yeah.
Production meeting.
So label it to me, address it to me, bigsexynomad@gmail.com, and just put in caps wrong answers only. The way that you're going to do this is, I think, the way that they used to do the traditional jock versus nerds, okay? Or maybe, I don't know. Who knows? Put the 3, 4, 5 questions. Let's keep them 3 for now until we feel this out. 3 questions without answers. Then leave some lines, leave some space.
Nice. Okay.
And then, and like fill it with bullshit or
periods or whatever people do, the long
periods
dots
on
or
each
whatever.
line to just make sure that it gets to a second page and then put the answers. That way I will be the one that opens the email because you're going to title it wrong answers only, all in caps, which means Big Sexy will not see it. So
Correct.
he can't prep to give the wrong answers. I also, honor system, will not open a wrong answers only in caps labeled email until we are recording.
There you go. That way
That way,
it
I'm
won't,
also
it
I
won't get
can't
answered
believe
until
on the right answers.
we'll answer it on air.
Because it makes no sense. I don't know what Hojack would charge us, but what I don't want to do is pay him a bunch of money for something that we're not going to use.
Right.
Additionally, I don't want to pay him a bunch of money and then bug his ass for months. Be like, oh, can you tweak this? We're doing it this way now. Can you change that?
Right.
No. I want us to try to figure out A, if this is a format if we like, B, what we do and don't like about it.
Right.
Is 3 questions right? Should it be 5? Whatever. We don't know that yet. You guys are going to help us figure that out. That way we can go to Hojack or somebody like him and say, this is what we need. This is exactly what we want. Boom, done. Pay you currency. You give us product. Everybody happy. So yes, 3 questions, trivia questions. You don't have to come up with anything creative that you think might be something easy for Big Sexy to twist into an odd innuendo. That's his job to figure out.
Yep.
And make them actual trivia questions so we could test my right answers prowess. And
wrong answers only, right answers maybe.
I like it. And the first person to send this to us gets no additional benefit, but you get to know that you are the one that unlocked us playing the music that we've been sitting on, the jingle to intro to Wrong Answers Only, for probably a month, maybe a little more.
Quite a while now, yes.
I get kind of mixed up with us throwing these interview episodes in because they kind of displace time, and we're also a week ahead, which is great, but it helps screw with time in my mind. So speaking of interviews, we've got an interview for our friends here, our world travelers.
Before we do that, yes.
I
do have a question for you.
Okay.
Have you ever stayed at Airbnbs?
Yes.
Have you ever befriended an Airbnb host?
I've never met an Airbnb host.
I didn't. I never have before. Now I've met a couple other ones because some live in whatever. But since I've been in Malaga, we have stayed in 4 Airbnbs. Yeah, 4 Airbnbs. I've met 2 and definitely befriended 1. And the one we're in now, Engelbert, he's a pretty cool dude. I just did a Facebook Live the other day, and I was walking from a friend's house, and a friend's house. I got a friend's house in Malaga. How cool is that sentence? How easily did I just bust that sentence out right now? I'll come back from a friend's house and bumped into my Airbnb host. Really cool dude, Engelbert. But shout out, I'm doing a lot of shout outs today. Shout out to Judy and Marcos, who were the Airbnb hosts. We're in Banamada. Who are our Airbnb hosts there, who we have befriended now. We're actually friends. We went to the beach yesterday. We had coffee and tea this morning. I'm helping her with some motivation aspects. And, of course, me helping somebody else with motivation aspect kind of helped me get my shit together in order. So very mutually beneficial. And they were our Airbnb hosts. So we ended up like booking the Airbnb accidentally. Jamel accidentally booked the Airbnb. We're one that we're looking at, and she accidentally booked it. She didn't mean to book it. She was worried it was going to really hurt us financially, but it ended up working just okay. I said, look, there's a reason we have to be there, and that's it. We now have 2 great friends, a beautiful family. They have 2 wonderful boys, and they're here in Malaga. They've helped out a lot. So I want to give a big, huge shout out to Judy and Marcos, who I will definitely have on the podcast soon.
Sweet.
And anytime I ask somebody to do a podcast, they're like, "Oh, I'm not interested. I'm afraid to." I said, "No, relax. You'll hear in this interview now that we're gonna play the type of guest interview this is. Right? You don't have to perform anything. You don't have to come up with anything. You don't have to script anything. It's just a conversation between me and you, or us and you. If you're on when we're recording, there'll be the 3 of us chatting. If it's just you and I, or just Jobeth, or Judgmentalist, and whoever, it's just a conversation. That's all it is. We just have conversations, and we ask questions, and you just answer the questions, and it's great. So if you want to be on the podcast, if you have some great travel stories, and instead of writing it out or sending an audio postcard, you actually just want to come on and tell us, let us
Hell yeah.
know. We'll set up a day and time and have that process done and do that in person. That'd be great. But this interview coming up now is another one of the amazing people that I met on the Virgin Voyages transatlantic to Barcelona. Her name, and she,
Which has been over 2 months now.
yeah, isn't that crazy? Like we left the U.S. April 22nd.
2 months ago, you were still on the boat, but you were probably in Portugal.
We landed in Portugal. No, not yet. We landed in Portugal May.
Oh, okay.
No, we disembarked. We landed in Portugal May 2nd.
Okay.
So July 2nd will be 2 months from the first European port, which is crazy. We disembarked in Barcelona on May 7th. So on July 7th, we will have been living in Europe for 2 months.
It's wild.
In Spain for 2 months. It's crazy. But this is Marla Westerhold. Again, we met on the cruise. She's a part of a Facebook group that did a cruise group that I was on before the cruise. And then I posted that I wanted to teach Mahjong. And so she came and learned Mahjong. Just like Madeline, Marla has taught other people how to play Mahjong. And now she has a little Mahjong group in her community that is now part of the International Mahjong Butt Touching Society.
Now international.
Which I need to reach out to Brogan and have them make a logo or something for that. Not maybe. Well, one of our is also graphic design. But I love some artwork. I got artists. All my artist friends, all the Big Sexy Digital Nomad Art Brigade. We need some Mahjong artwork, if you please. But yeah, so you're gonna hear me talk to Marla, who's a great world traveler, wonderful person, very surprising because she's very unbecoming, right? Very, I'd say mild mannered and very nice and sweet and lovely. And then we started peeling away these different layers, and this incredible, wonderful world traveler is right before us. And we hung out afterwards in Barcelona after the cruise, which was really cool. So yeah, enjoy this interview. It was really wonderful and great, and I hope you dig it. Hello, world travelers. It's your host, Big Sexy, the Digital Nomad, here recording live. Well, I guess no matter when I'm recording, I'm live, because otherwise I'd be recording dead, and that's just dumb. I'm here on Virgin Voyages, the Valiant Lady. I'm currently somewhere in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, making our way with haste to Lisbon. I say with haste. We're actually probably going at a very nice speed towards Lisbon, Portugal. And I am conducting interviews of amazing and fabulous people that I have met on this cruise and have been chatting with. This next interview here, it's funny because I keep saying this next interview, and you don't know if this is the first interview, the last interview, when I did this interview, but I'm kind of giving that kind of the terminology about whatever. It's neither here nor there. I met my next interviewee first in the Facebook group, sort of. There's a huge Facebook group chat community about this particular cruise, and then segmented by your interests and types and how you identify whatever. So we first met in one of those chats, and then she came by and I taught her how to play Mahjong, and she learned, and then she dominated. Has been
That's right.
Dominating on the Mahjong table.
That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, give it up for Marla!
Whoa.
Hello.
Hello, Big Sexy.
How you doing?
I am so good. I'm so good on this ship.
Yeah, having a great time?
Having a great time.
Just living our best life. I'm loving it.
I am full of gratitude, happiness, and just excitement, trying new things and relaxing, and it's just amazing. Amazing vibe on this ship.
Excellent. Now tell my listeners where you're from,
Okay.
What do you do, all that kind of personalized information that they like to know up front.
I live in the Chicagoland area.
Okay.
And I I'm gonna say I'm a Chicagoan. I was born in Chicago.
Okay.
But I currently live in a suburb.
All right.
And I work in the solar area. I help people who are setting up solar panels on their roof and connecting that to the grid.
That's amazing. See, that's why I love conducting these interviews. You learn stuff about people. You think you know everything. You're like, no, I don't know nearly enough. But again, so far, we just know that you love Mahjong. And this is, how many cruises is this now for you?
Well, I did a cruise when I was like in high school with my family. I'm not counting that.
You should.
Okay, well, it was a long time ago.
You were on a boat?
I was on a boat.
And you went someplace that was not your place.
True. So I did that.
Uh-huh.
And then nothing between then and November when I went on my first Virgin Voyages cruise, which I booked totally on a whim.
Nice.
I saw a Facebook ad. I did zero research. I went to the website and I booked a cruise. Wow.
So that's Facebook ads, if you're listening, which... somebody should be, because you're all paying attention to everything we do.
Yep.
Apparently your ads work. Keep those Virgin Voyages ads going. Virgin Voyages, I'll tag you in all this stuff. Your ads are working because you got a sailor based on an ad on social media.
And I did not think I was a cruise person, but I had some vacation. I just needed to use vacation or I was going to lose it.
Right.
I thought, well, a cruise might be kind of logistically easy to do. Mm-hmm. And so I went to the website, I booked it. I woke up the next morning and I thought, what the hell did I just do?
Right. Where was that cruise?
Western Caribbean, out of Miami.
Okay.
6 nights.
Nice.
And it was the same ship, Valiant Lady.
The Valiant Lady, okay.
And so that was in November. Within 30 minutes of getting on that ship, I knew I was coming back.
Right.
A solo sailor. Okay, so I went by myself.
I find solo cruisers to be brave and adventurous. You are adventurous spirits because I say you're like, I'm not one. I'm definitely one.
You definitely are.
right. Because like you're entering a world you don't know, especially for your first cruise that you decided to go on. Right. You're like, I don't know what to expect. I don't know this, and I don't have anybody initially to either commiserate with or celebrate with. I'm going to figure it out. Yep. And how was that cruise? Well, you said 30 seconds on.
So I came into my room. This is part of it. Part of it was just a great experience, even just boarding through the terminal. All of it, great experience, right? I get into my room. There's a letter on my table that says, "Hello, Marla. We see you're a solo sailor. We're having a dinner tonight. You're welcome to join us." And I was like, this is awesome. So I went to that dinner. I met a bunch of people. The cruise was amazing. It was 6 nights, 3 ports.
Nice. So was it like port, sea day, port, sea day, port, sea day? That's
pretty much like that, yeah. So Roatan, Honduras. So that was a new country for me.
Okay.
Second stop was Costa Maya, Mexico.
All right.
Third stop was Bimini, but we didn't actually stop there because we had weather, and so we had another sea day. So,
supposed to be 3 ports, but just 2.
It was 2, but it was still good. It was still good, and I just, even on that trip, I was thinking maybe I should do a transatlantic.
Really? You're like, oh, maybe I should do a really long ass cruise.
And then I got home, and within 2 weeks of being home, I booked this one.
Nice.
So that cruise was in November. We are currently in April. Right. Last of April.
Yeah. Oh, today's
Earth
the
Month
last day. Yeah. Happy Earth Month as well. This is it.
Yeah.
And tomorrow's the 1st of May, so you know I'm about to sing some Jonathan Colton. Those who know, and if you don't know, you'll find out. Those in karaoke, either in here. I should check this later on. I'm currently recording in a karaoke room. It is the pink room, and I'm only in the pink room because the purple room, which if you know, was booked. And so I booked in the pink room, and that's why I'm here. Also, listeners, if you hear ambient noise, it's just I got a microphone, and I'm recording to my phone, and that's just what it is. Awesome. So now, you said that Honduras was a new country for you. What other countries have you been to?
I think my list is about 20.
20? Get out.
I've got a list.
Oh, y'all should brought homework. Absolutely, I want to see the list.
I've got a travel group with my notes, and I've got a list of countries visited. Here's my list in alphabetical order.
All right, so I'm going to read this off for you folks, because you can't see this. All right, we got Australia, Austria, the Bahamas, Belgium, question mark, why question mark?
I'm not sure if I really was there or somewhere else.
Were you on drugs at the time?
No. No, but it was just, passing through. So
Gotcha. Okay, so Belgium, Canada, Czech Republic, France, Germany, East Germany.
I was in Berlin before the wall came down.
Before the wall came down.
So East Germany.
Ooh, so
proper.
Like, proper East Germany.
Yeah.
Greece, Honduras, which was new, 2022. All right, Hong Kong, while it was still a British colony. Oz, have you been since?
No.
Okay, gotcha. Don't go. I'm just kidding. Hungary, Iceland, Ireland, Japan, Luxembourg. This is way more than 20.
Oh.
Martinique, Mexico, Netherlands, New Zealand, Puerto Rico, Singapore, South Korea, Switzerland, North Korea.
Well, in South Korea, I went to the demilitarized zone, and then
you stepped over the border.
I stepped over the border.
I'm in North Korea. It counts.
It counts.
All right, Turks and Caicos, which is, I wonder how many other countries have an "and" in their name. Yeah.
And Barbuda.
See, I love other countries, and United Kingdom, Scotland, Wales, and then last but not least, the good old US of A. Folks, that is 31 countries that Marla has been to. Now, of those, not of just that list, but of your travels, which has been your favorite?
So that is so hard. Everywhere I go, I'm always like, this is my favorite place in the world, and I want to come back. And I love people from New Zealand, and I love people from Scotland, and I love people from Martinique. I mean,
so that's good.
Wherever I am is my favorite.
That's the most beautiful answer to that question, because that means you had wonderful experiences in all those locations. That means you've had a great time. Now, have there been any crazy horror stories amongst all that travel that's like, ooh, that wasn't a great time? And it can either be like, that wasn't a great time, I'll never go back, or it can be, that was a great time, you know what, I need to go back to fix that and repair that memory.
I don't know that I'm thinking. I mean, I'm an optimist.
Right.
I tend to hold on to the good stuff.
You are a very bright personality. So
I don't know if I'm even remembering.
So I'll be happy to give you one, as my listeners have already heard tale of.
Sure.
We were on a cruise ship in the middle of the Atlantic, and we got hit by a tornado.
I'm laughing because
we survived. We survived our cruise ship being hit by a tornado. There was broken glass, and again, those who've heard the other previous episodes, that is not hyperbole. Our cruise ship, yesterday evening, we were cruising along the Atlantic. Weather got inclement; you couldn't see rain, and then we got hit by a tornado on the ocean.
A water spout.
It was insane. It broke glass. It tossed it. It threw things
People
overboard.
People lost things overboard that was on their balconies.
Yeah. Towels and all kind of things are gone.
But we didn't. The ship, I didn't really feel it. Like the ship didn't.
You didn't feel the shake when it hit?
I was on a lower deck. I was in a restaurant on the lower deck.
Which restaurant were you in?
I was in Razzle Dazzle.
That's fair. Okay, so we were in Gumbe.
I was near the water line.
Gotcha. So we were in Gumbe when it hit, and Gumbe's on the 15th deck.
Okay, so
it shook the windows.
Oh wow.
It rattled the windows, and we heard the boom.
Yeah.
I thought it was a strike of thunder. Mm-hmm. It was not. And what I thought was a thing of lightning was apparently either a deck chair or towels flying by and being thrown overboard. Yeah. So it made me wonder how many things are at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
That have fallen off cruise ships.
There's a great book about I forget what the title is, but there's a book about all the stuff that has fallen off of cargo ships.
Oh, right.
Cargo ships lose entire containers. Yeah.
Listeners, if you know what that book is, do me a favor. Hit us up. Send us the emails at bigsexy or bigsexynomad.com. gmail.com. Or in the comments or on our Instagram or Twitter. Hit us up. Let us know what that is. Reach out. Our listeners are great listeners. Whatever.
Yeah.
Now, what so far has been your favorite part of this cruise? Besides beating people's asses at Mahjong.
There's just an amazing vibe on the ship. So, again, I came solo.
I was going to ask you, are you a solo cruiser on this ship? Yeah.
There are a couple people that are on this ship that were on my ship in November as well. Okay. So I had a couple of acquaintances.
Right.
That I saw, and I was like, hey, I know you.
Right.
After getting on, right?
Right.
But everybody is so welcome and opening, friendly, even if they're part of a couple, even if they're part of a group. They're not closed off.
Right.
They're come into our group with us. join us. Come to dinner with us. The staff, the crew. There's just such a friendly. I'm like, these are my people.
Yeah.
These are my people. So it just makes everything amazing on board. The entertainment is terrific. The food is incredible on the ship.
The food is really good. I've been, I've only, as with every meal, every large cooking facility, there are going to be meals that don't quite hit the mark.
Sure.
Right, and that's fair. I mean, I'm fine with that, especially like up in the galley. The galley is kind of a buffet style eatery.
I would say like a food hall.
A food hall. It's very well. It's a great food hall that doesn't stay open nearly late enough. For one, as I'm a late nighter, early morning or on cruise ships, I don't want just all day breakfast at 3 a.m. I want burgers or something to eat.
I had some midnight pizza the other day after Scarlet Night.
Yeah.
That was hit the
good,
spot.
Right?
Yeah.
The pizza place, small little individual sized pizzas, four slices, about 8 inches in diameter.
Yep.
Nice variety of pies. It's so delicious. So great. Wonderful. Now, when I taught you Mahjong, was it your first time playing? You never played the game before?
I never played before. I had seen it in Crazy Rich Asians and probably other places too, right? But
probably not. I was. You may be. Well, a lot of people know it from the solitaire game on the computer.
Yeah, no, I never played that.
Right, so people know the matching mahjong, whether the deck of mahjong.
But like maybe I saw
symbols.
it when I was in Hong Kong or something. Like maybe I saw.
Again, you are world travel, so that is way more possible. Yet that you actually saw.
Yeah.
Games happening, but didn't know what it was.
No, I didn't know. And when you had posted in the Facebook group that you wanted to teach people mahjong, I was like, that sounds fun. I want to learn.
Yes, and you came over, and you kind of piecemeal the instruction because you came over, sat in a little bit, but when you came over, we were already in the
You had already done the instruction, so I just observed.
Right,
and that was really helpful because you gave me a few tips. You gave me a few
you can see how people play, how things.
But it was just good to watch for a little bit first,
right?
And then I got the full instruction the next day, and then started playing.
And then when I say dominated, she ended her first game the first game was at 4 points, but the second game was 51 points. And if you know about mahjong, then you know that is a lot of points.
Yeah.
And she took them quickly and then left the table like you do. So we couldn't get those points back. But yeah, I had a great time and
I was the dealer, so I had to stand up when I lost that game.
Right. So I don't want to set up. Yeah, you won quite a bit as dealer. And
3
you stayed dealer. Yeah, 3 games as dealer. She was the first multi-dealer.
We were rolling I can't remember who it was that I was rolling against, but
they kept getting the same number.
We kept getting the same number. Like we probably had
four times.
Four times. We had the same number.
Yeah, that's almost stop. Breathe. Okay, hold on. Bring it up. Okay, now roll. Yeah. It was intense. It was insane.
But it's such a fun game.
It's a great game. Like, listeners, you understand, right now I'm recording at normal Mahjong time, so this is how much I love you, fellow listeners, and I make sure to get these interviews. I'm sacrificing my Mahjong time to get this content for you. I love y'all. Excellent. Well, what other travel have you, in all these travels, like world travel and all these different travels, what type of travel hacks have you learned, or different ways to make your travel easier
Okay. I travel with mini binder clips so that I can clip the curtains together so I don't have light coming in from the outside.
Okay.
I like a really dark room and a lot of hotel rooms. Too much light. Hotels, you need to fix this thing with the smoke detector blinking at me in the middle of the night.
Right.
This is not okay.
The thermostat with the super bright LEDs.
Yes, with the blue LED. So,
do you bring electric tape?
What I do, because usually if I'm flying somewhere, I've got a luggage tag on my suitcase. I unpeel some of that luggage tag, and then I take the notepad from the hotel, which is cardboard backing, and I tape that over the blue light that's coming off of the thermostat or something else.
I've learned to travel with electric tape for that.
Electrical tape would be helpful.
Big black electrical tape.
Yeah.
Not duct tape, because duct tape leaves residue. Electric tape just zip, and it's black, and I don't see it. It doesn't brighten up the room.
Yeah. You can't do that to the smoke detector, though.
No.
That's a problem.
You can, but you shouldn't.
Right.
Yeah. Don't, folks. Do not cover your smoke detector with tape. That is a PSA from Big Sexy Digital Nomad. Awesome. Any other travel hacks or any things that you learned by mistake? Like, oops, I did this and I should have done that. And then
I think for international travel, it's good to have a paper boarding pass because if something happens with your flight, it's easier to get it switched if you have a paper boarding pass than if you have a digital boarding pass. International flights.
Okay.
Yep. I had a flight. I can't remember.
Because you've been in a lot of countries. I'm assuming there's a lot of flying.
Yeah.
Do you fly one line, or like do you have like super status miles?
No, I don't have any kind of status. You would think, but I don't.
You don't. Do you just find the least expensive?
No, I
cheaper?
fly a lot of United because I'm out of Chicago, and that's a hub for United, and United flies a lot of places from there.
They don't have like frequent flyer point system?
They do, and I'm in it, but I don't have any status at the moment. No. I used to. I'm not traveling as not a frequent pandemic, whatever. The pandemic. How long did it take you to hit all those countries? Not counting Honduras, which was last year. I mean, I guess I have to think about when did I start traveling internationally.
Yeah, so I mean, like, were you a child? Did you travel? You and your family travel a bit?
So my family, we did a lot of national parks and camping in the U.S. Okay. And we went to Canada. And we went to Mexico, but I don't think we went beyond. You didn't leave the mainland, right, or the North America. Right. You stay on the North American continent only. And then in high school, I did an exchange program where I went to Germany. Okay, so that puts you in Europe. Mm-hmm. And then from there, we did some little. That's when I went to East Berlin and everything else. Right. So. Right. I mean, it's decades. Like, what school did you go to? What college did you go to? So I went to the University of Iowa for undergrad. Okay, so that's not in Chicago. No. Or you? So you? I was in the next state over. Now, do you have what states you've been to, or have you already been to all 50? So you stopped counting. I have a list of states. I think I'm missing like maybe 3 or 4. Do you know which 3 or 4? That'd be really interesting to see. I'm missing. I have to look at my list. Bring out the list. Because I don't know. Folks, we're going back to the list. We're going to the list. It's a different note. And here's my list of things that I want to do. Like, this is a bucket list. This is my bucket list. And sometimes things show up. I didn't even know they were bucket list. And then I do something amazing. I'm like, that was a bucket list. And I did not even know it. So that's learning Mahjong. I added in retrospect. These are my question marks. I'm not sure. I know I have not been to New Mexico. I know I have... No. I've been to North Dakota. So you got to delete that off there. Alabama. This is not... Okay, so... This is an old list. This is an old list. This hasn't been updated recently. You've traveled quite a bit recently. Yeah. So this is there. And you're not counting airplane layovers, right? This I got to be outside the airport. Out of the airport. Yeah. In a place. I need to see something that is uniquely this state. Yes. Gotcha. Yes. Some of these I'm not sure. I think I got to confirm with my family. But... Right. I know I have not been to New Mexico, but like I lived in Boston for a few years, and my family, we did travel a lot of places. Right. And we lived in New Jersey when I was a kid, so I've been to. So maybe Connecticut. Yeah, I think maybe Connecticut I've been to. And maybe Delaware. Maybe Delaware. Those are in that area, so right. Possibly. Right. Right. Arkansas. I don't think I've been to Arkansas. I don't think I've been to. Oklahoma. Anyway, it's a handful. It's probably maybe 5-6 states. No, that's not bad. So, any idea or plans on when you're gonna do that? One day you can rent a car and be like, this is it. This is the week I'm checking off states. Well, I'm always happy when I can. I mean, a few, maybe 2017, maybe I checked off Utah. Nice. I had not been to Utah, and I was like, awesome. This is another state I can check off the list. Yeah, I mean, I understand checking off New Mexico. Ain't nothing too great in New Mexico, but I want to go to the balloon festival in Albuquerque. Okay. Well, that's it. Festival. If there's an event, I always encourage you, if there's an event in the state that you want to do, that helps. Because then you're there for a particular reason, not to experience just the state. There used to be a TV show called, I believe it was called Travelers. I don't remember too much about it. Listeners, hit us up on social and let us know about the show Travelers. It was amazing. They would travel for festivals. It was like 6 people, and maybe not the same 6 in every episode. reality, but this was like maybe 30 years ago.
Okay.
Maybe 20. I don't even know. A long time
So before
ago. Before social media and all that stuff.
Right.
And they would go to festivals in different parts of the world, or they would travel for something. And that was so inspiring. Really, I added a lot of stuff to my list at that point.
Nice.
So,
well, you have seen a lot and seen the world, and I tell you what, I've always said that world traveling and seeing other places really opens you up, and it breaks down internal borders and internal barriers. You're much more open to folks because you recognize that while people speak differently, look differently, sound differently, dress differently, they're still all humans. We still all have the same foibles. We still have loves. Like I've always said that laughter is the same in every language, right? Tears are the same in every language. So there is that human connection. And you have experienced a lot of humanity.
Right.
And so
I feel it's like lessons for life. Like it's the best education to travel. And I think not enough Americans even have a passport, right?
Right.
I don't remember what the statistics are, but it's just shockingly low. Get your passport.
There you go.
Take a trip.
Tip from Marla,
easy.
get your passport. Tip from Big Sexy Digital Nomad, get a passport. If you don't have a passport, take your ass to the post office.
Right.
Go get your passport. It's not expensive. You'll have it. Even if you don't plan to have travel upcoming, it's good for 10 years. And hopefully you'll make a point to get out and see the world within 10
Once you have your passport, then the opportunity is open to you and something will come your way and you'll say, I'm ready to go.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go now. I got my passport. I got my carry-on. Let's get out and see the world. Excellent. Well, Marla, thank you very much for chatting with me.
Thank you, Big Sexy.
It was my pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure.
Getting to know you and travel. And we talked in the solo. It was a solo cruise chat or whatever. Yep. It's funny because I got invited to the solo. I'm not solo. My wife's here. Why am I solo? But okay. But again, it's been a great place to
You needed to be in
friends.
there so you could be a connector.
That's it.
You were a bridge.
I connect other solos.
Yes.
We met at dinner at Gumbay. These who I thought was a couple that coupled up on board. They did not know each other before they got on the ship, and now they're wild and young.
This happened to somebody on my November cruise.
Look at love.
Yeah.
Look at love blossoming at Virgin Voyages and on cruise ships. I'm sure it happens a lot. But, I usually think it's much more random hookups.
Right.
As opposed to love connections. This might be. This might be also, we're hanging out, but we really like each other. But it could be the start of a lovely
Could be. The people that I know from November are still together. And
see? Look at that.
They lived in different parts of the country and
now they're together. And that's, how beautiful is that? And you were a part of their love story.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Very small, even if it's a small part. I was a part of your love story. That's a beautiful thing. Well, thanks for being a part of this story, and thanks for being
Thanks for being here.
My pleasure. Look, I was going to be here, but God, I love this. This is my type of thing. So, but I always count it as, the universe brings people together.
Right.
Right, and it happens, people like to put a lot of meaning behind it for a reason, and, it must be meant to be. I'm very much of, it had to be because it is.
Yeah.
Right, this is what was supposed to happen. So we were supposed to get together, supposed to meet. I have a podcast to talk about traveling. You get to share the fact with all of our dozens of listeners at the moment that you have traveled the world and see the world, and it's great. Are you on social media, and if so, where can people find you?
I'm not really.
All right. Well, there you go. Good luck finding Marla on social media. If you have questions or you want any follow up, you can always reach out to Big Sexy Nomad. And me and Marla are friends now. It's official. So we will connect, and I'll make sure we get the questions. And then if we necessary, we'll just have you back on the podcast.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
All
right, listeners. You're going to hear some other stuff after this because this is the interview, not the official podcast. Y'all know what's going on. I love y'all. Big Sexy. Talk to you later. Bye. Welcome back. Well, that was Marla's amazing, right? She's an absolutely phenomenal person.
Super easy, super fun. Come hang out with us. Send us some stuff. How do people do that? How do people get in touch with us? Whether they want to be interviewed, whether they want to send us wrong answers only. Maybe they just want to tell us a story that we read on the air.
So you can go to our email address at bigsexynomad@gmail.com. If you want to leave us an audio postcard, which we highly encourage, go to either prankcall.me or go to bigsexynomad.com for our merch. We actually have merch now. So if you want to support the podcast, right now we have a merch store. You can go to Where is Big Sexy, and that's WEAR, like you're wearing your clothes, is bigsexy.com. That'll take you to our merch store. You can get cool images done by Brogan Hastings. So definitely want to check out that as well. And then you can, of course, hit us both up on Twitter at Big Sexy. I think we have at Big Sexy Nomad on Twitter as well.
Yep. And if you do go, so the audio postcards, prankcall.me is just a domain that we bought that forwards directly to this audio voice message system that is set up through our podcasting app. Okay. So if you go to bigsexynomad.com instead of prankcall.me, you're going to see the picture of, the album cover or whatever for the podcast. It's going to say Big Sexy Digital Nomad. It's going to give you a little description. You're going to have two boxes that you could check right there. One that says listen on Spotify, one that says send voice message. If you click that send voice message, it takes you to the same place that prankcall.me does. So either way, same place. It lets you leave a message, and it's basically just a voice recorder that emails us. And then we download that. We don't listen to it. And
we'll play it on there.
We upload it, we play it fresh, and then we go. So do one of those. If they want to reach out to you directly, let's say they got dirty secrets about me that they want to spill just to you to embarrass me on a future episode.
Hit me up at Who is Big Sexy, either on Twitter or Instagram. Yeah, and then vice versa. If they have something naughty which everybody has something naughty about Big Sexy, but
yeah, I am.
I don't want to tell you directly.
Psychic-ish on basically all the major social media platforms, and then also, I just a thank you, a request, or whatever. If you follow anything that Elkton Magic has, that is appreciated. Any engagement there. I don't care if you're on the other side of the country, just following, liking, and sharing. Social media is kind of a viral thing. So all of that kind of helps raise the profile of it, especially, I think, on TikTok, which I'm having some difficulty getting traction in. I'm getting more and more
I
follows.
still don't understand TikTok.
I have no idea what the hell I'm doing.
Every like 3 or 4 days. I've been told I should start doing walkabout videos and posting the walkabout videos on TikTok. I don't know the time format. I don't know how long that takes. I'm definitely going to go take video of the bull with the butthole.
Yeah.
And put that on TikTok. That definitely seems like TikTok material.
Also, kind of as a heads up, and I don't know what this is going to look like, but write us, email us, communicate with us some way, shape, or form. Because at the end of the month that this is airing in, I'm going on a week-long tour with Matt Donnelly. And several people have advised me that I should be documenting the hell out of this. Videos, photos, whatever. I plan to do that, and I don't really have a plan for what I'm going to do with any of that. So I will probably set up some sort of private drive that this stuff all gets dumped into. Not paywalled or we're not going to set up a Patreon quite yet, but this is the kind of thing that when we do a Patreon would be behind that paywall that we want no charge. We're not going to shake you down for any sort of coin or anything like that. But because you guys, not yet, being loyal listeners that communicate with us and interact with us, wherever I end up putting this, and feel free to reach out if you've got ideas for a way for me to do this so that it acts like a paywall, but I'm not actually charging people money. I would love to do that. Actually, I'm wondering, can we set up a Patreon and not charge people money at first? Is there like a $0 tier?
I don't think so. I think you have to do at least $1 tier.
Okay, because I don't think we're ready for that. But
we can look at that. Oh well, I mean, I wouldn't mind if we want to test out the waters. I wouldn't mind doing a $1 tier.
I would like to have
the tier for $1.
An easy way to protect stuff like this and only have it be to our listeners. And again, I'm not, like I said, not necessarily, a buck isn't bad. Maybe we do it. Maybe we do it and have a $1 tier just to be able to gatekeep the stuff.
The videos and whatnot that we have.
Yeah. And I mean, hell, we could put, they're not exciting, but
it's just me talking. But the cool thing is, and you know what I haven't done yet? What I need to do is I need to see about improving a hotspot on my mobile phone.
Yeah.
So that I can take my laptop out in the world with me. Because right now you get different backdrops of wherever Airbnb I'm in, but I would love for it to be like out on the beach, out at this restaurant, out by the bull with the butthole, out by, you know, with a great backdrop of wherever I am in the thing. And then, of course, we can also put, like, I do a lot of videos and things like that I post on social media, which I can ease up on anything like severe or, you know, intricate. I can just leave for the Patreon as opposed to putting it on Instagram for free. And we're somebody was telling me we should look at developing YouTube, which we talked about doing the YouTube channel. And figuring out the logistics of that. So, yeah, we got things in the works, people.
Yeah, so that's going to be exciting. If you haven't gone to one of those shows, or if I don't have tickets for one of those shows yet, I highly recommend Sunday, July 23rd. We have secured. We had some scheduling snafus. I don't think I talked about this last week on the podcast because it hadn't happened yet. So I definitely didn't talk about this last week on the podcast. But one of the venues, the one that, you know, there are a few shows on this tour that are already sold out.
Awesome.
And one of them hadn't given me a ticket link yet. And they, last week, Tuesday in the afternoon, they basically threw their hands up in the air and been like, we don't have our shit together, so we're going to cancel the show.
Oh, so rude.
There's a very, very large venue, 500 plus seats, that has been bugging me about putting a show there ever since Matt was here in February. So I reached out to them first and said, hey, so this happened. Do you want this show? And of course, it being the act that made them want to do something there, they were like, whatever the fuck you need, let's make it happen. So that one's got 3 different tiers of tickets, so it should be available for any budget. It's at 5:00 on a Sunday, so if you were looking to travel, It should give you plenty of time to get home. Would love to see people out there. If you are a member of this podcast, we're going to put Safe Travels as a promo code there. I am going to personally seek out each and every person who uses that promo code or uses the other promo code from the parent podcast. You know what it is. Both are going to give you the same discount, but that's going to let me know that, hey, we've got folks in the audience that are listening to this podcast or that podcast or both. And
tickets are available for that show, yes?
Tickets are available. You go to elktonmagic.com. You can also go to judgmentalist.com/mindnoodler to see.
Be sure to put those links in the description of the podcast.
Will do.
So that people can click as well.
Also, from the time that this episode airs next week, Eric Diddleman's going to be at Elkton Magic. I know we're jamming up a bunch of shows all together, but we're doing a lot of stuff to promote this, and they're just getting bigger and bigger. So thank everybody out there who's had anything to do with it, whether it's just engaging in the social media, saying nice things, leaving a review if you've been to a show, any of that kind of stuff. So that's all I got. The cops are coming.
Here we go. Let's get out of it. We got it ready.
Woo! Safe travels.
Safe travels.